Hello students, today we will discuss the syllabus of class 7th, computers. So the first chapter is history of computer. Everything in the world has a history. Humans also have their history. Every technology have their history. The same way computers also have their history. Means whatever the computer we are using nowadays, it was not invented on the first day. You will be having your smartphones, and what is the smartphone nowadays? Means that is categorized as a smartphone, but that is also the category of mobile. But earlier, when it was in the initial phase of the development, the mobiles was only to take and make and receive calls only, and nothing was there in the mobile phones. But nowadays we have all the features of the computers, means all possible features of the computers we have in our mobile phones. Our mobile phones are known as the mini computers, means they have all the powers which power is in our computers. Means our mobile phone is as powerful as our computers. So that's why there is a famous saying that Rome was not built in a day. In the same way, every technology was not on the advanced phase, on their initial phase. So let's see from where to where the computers came, and from where and to how long this will go, we do not know. But whatever we have seen, whatever we are using, we can compare with our past. We cannot decide our future, but we can imagine our future. And most probably some of you might be thinking for the future, and someone of you may become the future, the hero of the future, the main inventor of the future, and most probably you will be changing the concept of computers. Whatever the concept of computers we are using, that might change. A technology, a revolutionary technology may appear. So anything is possible. So let's see history of computers, from where computers came. The first computer, it was invented in 19th century. 19th century, and you know the father of computer, Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage is known as the father of computer, and the first computer he designed that got popularity was an analytical engine. Analytical engine he developed, and the computers initially were not too small like nowadays. In that time, the users used to go inside the computer to operate the computer. Means computer was having a size of a room. That was the size of computer. But now we have the size of computer that can be carried in a palm. So, and he is Sir Charles Babbage, who invented the computers, and he is known as the father of computer. Okay, so there are lots of things about the computers. There is no limit. So, but we have our syllabus, so we will be stick to the syllabus, and we will discuss as per the syllabus, because in every class we have something to know. So if we will discuss all the things here, then in our next class we might lose our interest. Yeah. So we will discuss only this much, that computer was initiated in the 19th century, is known as the initial phase of the computers, and Charles Babbage, known as the father of computers, and he invented first analytical engine. Now generations, as like we have our generations, our grandfather, father, and us. So we have 3 generations. These are the 3 generations. In the same way, computers are also having their generations, and it is quite assumable that every next generation will be having some advanced technology. It is the common sense. We have very ample amount of common sense, I think. So we can correlate that every generation will be having some advanced technology than their previous generations. So let's see the slides. We have all the things documented here. So computers are categorized in 5 generations. first generation computer, second generation computer, third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation. Okay. Every generation was having a different technology. It is quite obvious. The same thing will be carried on in every generation. It is not possible. So every generation will be having a different technology, and they were having different technologies. A generation is characterized by major technological developments. How we decided the generation of computer, and this is the answer. The third line is the answer of that question. The computer generation of computer was divided by the major technology. Whatever the major technology we used, if that is changed, so we change the generation. First of all, we used in vacuum tubes, and after that transistors, after that integrated circuits, then microprocessors. So these changed the generation. These devices helped to categorize the generation from where to where was known as the first, from where to where second, from where to where third, where to where fourth. So we have to focus on the major technological development. What is the major technology that was used in each and every generation? We will know in our next slides. The first generation, it is known as from 1940 to 1956, before our independence. We got our independence in 1947, but we were having our first computer in first generation in 1940. From 1940 to 1956, it is known as the first generation of the computer. Let's see what was the advantages. So hardware which were used in the first generation and the softwares, we have the list. Initially they were using vacuum tubes. Then what is the use of vacuum tubes? Vacuum tubes were used as a switch or amplifier. Means they work like switch also, and they work like amplifier also. So that was used. That was the major technology of the computers of the first generation. Then magnetic drums as a memory device. Magnetic drum means from initial phase we were using magnetic field to store the data. From initial phase of the computers, magnetic drum. Right now, means at present time also we are using magnetic devices to store our data. Magnetic field mechanism, we will be discussing later on. As per our syllabus permit, we will discuss all the things. Okay. Then punched card to give the input. Punched card were used. Paper tape, it was also used to give input to the computer. Then printouts, means the output from the first generation of computer was in the form of printouts. And that time it was not possible to see all the output on the screen. Just like nowadays we are able to see, means we are able to see whatever we are typing, whatever we are doing, that is possible to see on the screen. But that time the output was taken on the as a printouts. The software used in the first generation computer was the machine language. Machine language is known as the not user friendly language. It is not the user friendly language. Means if you wish to code, you have to memorize lots of things, then only you can code. Machine language was directly understandable by the machines. That's why it is known as the machine language. Then it was used to solve one problem at a time. Means that time first generation computer was not multitasking. At a time they were able to solve only one problem, and mostly it was useful for the scientific applications. Initially it was used for scientific applications only. Let's see other features of the first generation computer. That was bulky in size, we discussed earlier. They were having very large size, the size of a room. That was the size of computer, because the parts were very large in the size, so they were assembled in a room everywhere. So if you used to use the computer, you have to go inside a room, and that was your computer room, and that was your computer also. Highly unreliable, means they were not reliable. You cannot rely. Just like nowadays we are relying on the computers, it was not possible to rely on the first generation computers. It was having limited commercial use. In our previous slide we saw that it was helpful for the scientific applications only, so commercial use was not there. It was costly, it was too costly, it was not economical, and it was having difficult commercial production, because if anything is not popular in the market, their production is also difficult. If that will means if those computers were used famous, so their production was easy, but it was not popular. It was very limited commercial use. It was bulky. It was costly. So commercial production was also difficult. It was also difficult to use. It was not easy to use. Means if you wish to enter, if you wish to give input, if you wish to get output, every time you have to learn the language of the machine, that then only you will be able to use. So it was difficult, it was not user friendly. Okay, let's see some. In the first generation, the two computers was very popular, Univac and ENIAC, ENIAC, ENIAC. These two computers got much popularity, and Univac was the first commercial computer developed in 1951, and it was delivered to a US client in 1951. And have a look on the figure of the computer. It was the computer right nowadays, in those days. See, is it possible to use without any previous knowledge? No, it is not possible to use. That's why it was difficult to use, and it was having a size of a room. You can control a computer from there only, but that is separate, that is distributed in all the rooms, in a complete room. So next, have a look on these figures also. The first figure and the slide is vacuum tube, already labeled. So different types of vacuum tubes are there. And the second figure that is not labeled, that is your punched card. And the third figure containing the device and the paper tape also. The tape which is having on the top written the game, it is your paper tape. Okay. Now a brief discussion on the punched card. The punched card, it was also known as the punch card also. It's punch card or punched card. It is the same. They are the synonyms of each other. It was a piece of hard paper, means it was not soft and it was not much rigid. It was a little bit hard paper that can be used to contain digital data represented by the presence or absence of holes in predefined positions. Okay, have a look on this figure and you will be able to see that these figures having holes on a different positions, a specific position. So every punch card was having holes on the different positions, and it was the way to give the input. Means every card was having a different meaning, so they were used to provide some specific inputs. Okay, let's discuss second generation. And second generation is known from 1956 to 1963. Let's see the major technological development. What was here? The hardware used in this generation was transistors. Means transistors replaced vacuum tubes. Now the size of the computers reduced, not too much, but it was reduced. Then magnetic drum was also replaced by magnetic core memory, and tape devices was replaced by magnetic tape also, and now magnetic discs. Discs was also invented to store the memory. Magnetic tape and magnetic disc. It was used to store the memory permanently, means like secondary storage. Magnetic core memory, it was the main memory, just like our RAM. Nowadays we know it as RAM. And the software which was used in that generation was batch processing system. Means that time in second generation it was possible to execute more than one instructions. Batch processing means more than one instructions was possible to be executed on that time also. From there, they might get they might be getting idea of the multiprocessing and multitasking. I think this is my correlation, because batch processing system first time invented in second generation computers. Then assembly language replaced machine language. It was also not easy, means it was not also user friendly, but it was little bit easier than machine language. High level programming language was developed. High level programming languages are known as the language which are known as user friendly language. Means user friendly in the sense we can code in our natural language, and that time natural language means English. Nowadays technology is too advanced. We have lots of advancements in our technology. So nowadays we can speak in Hindi, and our mobile phone are easy to understand Hindi. they are easy to translate our Hindi into English, and they are also able to search in the Hindi, but that time it was not possible. So that time natural language was known as the English only, and those programming languages which are known as the high level language, they used to give the facility, means they used to give facility, or they were designed to facilitate the users so that we can code in English. It's not in exactly complete English grammar, but it was not as difficult as assembly and machine language. We will high level language is a different, is a huge topic. High level programming language, you will be getting more discussion, we will discuss more as our syllabus permit. If our syllabus permit in this class, we will discuss, otherwise we will discuss in our next classes, in our higher standards. The scientific and commercial applications, because the size was reduced, so cost will also reduce, and some advancement was there, so it got some popularity in the commercial sector also. Initially it was famous for the scientific, now second generation got popularity for scientific and commercial both. Other features was it was the faster than first generation, it was smaller than first generation computers, and it was more reliable in comparison to the first generation computer. Means it was not as fast as our present computer, but it was faster than the first generation computer. It was easier to program. Commercial production was still difficult and costly. Now we will see the figure of transistor, how the transistors look like. I think some of you will, some of you are familiar with this transistor, but still we will have a look of the images. These are the transistors. Okay, let's see. Third generation, it is known as, third generation was known as from 1964 to 1971. Here also a major technological development came into the existence. That's why third generation came into the existence, and here IC, integrated circuit, replaced transistors. And integrated circuits with SSI, small scale integration, and MSI, medium scale integration. And what is SSI and what is MSI? It is not right time to discuss with you all, because it is also a huge field, and it is out of syllabus. The major difficulty is this, it is out of syllabus. So we will understand SSI as small scale integration and MSI as the medium scale integration, and there is another term VLSI, very large scale integration. All this we will discuss in our next class, means in our next standard. It is suitable in that class also. Okay, larger memory, magnetic coarse memory. Larger means it was not large in the size, it was having larger capacity to store data in comparison to the second generation and first generation. Larger capacity magnetic tapes. Magnetic tapes was also in second generation, but their storing capacity was less, and in third generation their capacity were increased. Larger capacity of magnetic disk. Mini computers, means mini computers came into the existence in our third generation, means they are the part of our third generation computers. When integrated circuits came into the existence, then only mini computers came into the existence. Mini computers. Now the softwares which they used, it was time sharing operating system, standardization of high level programming language. In our second generation, high level was introduced, developed, but in initial phases nothing is perfect. So as time passes, the technology got some perfection. In the same way, high level language was invented in second generation, but in third generation they got their standard. Means every high level programming language got a same standard, so it became more easier to program. Machine independent softwares in first generation, in second generation, every machine was having different softwares, means it was not possible to use the software of a machine to another machine. But in third generation it was possible to develop a software that was suitable for all the machines, machine independent software. Other features of the third generation is it was faster, smaller, more reliable, easier and cheaper. Easier means it was easy to use. It was cheaper than first generation, second generation. Commercially easier to use and upgrade. Commercially it was easier to use and upgrade means if you wish to change any part, it was quite possible. It was easy to upgrade the computers also. Means if you wish to change the magnetic tape, if you wish to increase the size, you can replace. If you wish to change the size of, means if you wish to enhance the capacity of magnetic disk, it was possible to upgrade. But in first and second generation it was not possible. Commercial production was still difficult and costly. Scientific, commercial and interactive applications. Scientific application was there, commercial application was there, and interactive means a fruitful interactive application was also there. Now we will see integrated circuit. Have a close look. It was made with the semiconductor material, means integrated circuits were developed using semiconductor materials, and integrated circuit was developed in 1950 by Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce. They were the scientists who helped to reduce the size of computer, and the size of computer reduced tremendously with the help of integrated circuit. Now discuss fourth generation. We will discuss fourth generation from 1972 to 2010. This phase is known as the fourth generation of the computer. Now think, vacuum tube was replaced by transistors, transistors was replaced by integrated circuit. Now what will come? Have you any idea? What will replace integrated circuits? Yes, you all are right. Microprocessors. The microprocessors came into the existence from fourth generation. Very good. The hardwares and the softwares used in this fourth generation was microprocessors. Then semiconductor memory, magnetic memory was replaced by semiconductor memory. This is the form of our random access memory, RAM, and ROM also. Larger capacity main memory means magnetic disk and magnetic tape, they got their size increased. Larger capacity hard disk. Now the software, GUI based. G stands for graphical, U stands for user, I stands for interface. Graphical user interface, it means now it was a decent look, means a decent looking interface which we can use to interact with computer. Earlier it was based on commands only, CUI, command line user interface. CLI, CUI both are common, command user interface, command line user interface. Means in first generation, second generation, third generation, there was nothing to see on the screens. They used to give inputs and they get output in a form, but from fourth generation a graphical interface appeared in the form of operating systems. Then multiprocessing OS, as it was possible for the operating system to process more than one applications, more than one processes at a time. Multiprocessing. Object oriented design and programming, and the codes and the programs were written on the concept object oriented. This is also a very important concept, and object oriented is a complete book in higher standards. Okay. Network and computing based applications. Means in the fourth generations, some applications were developed that was possible to use on the internet also, network also, and they were also possible to use on the supercomputers. Let's see, some more hardwares were there. Optical disc, you know it as CD, your compact disc, your DVD, digital video disc, Blu-ray disc. That time Blu-ray disc was not possible, but CD, DVD and Blu-ray disc all are the form of optical disc. Supercomputers, internet, all these advanced technologies came in 4th generations. They appeared in 4th generations. Till now we are using advanced form of them. The software's distributed operating system means it was possible to have on a different locations distributed. All the operating systems of the computers, they were able to communicate with each other. Parallel programming means 2 different programs was possible to be executed on the same time, parallel. World Wide Web, it is a service available on the internet, multimedia, internet applications. So all the advancements which we are using right now, it appeared, it came into the existence in 4th generation. Okay. Other features, it was smaller, reliable, powerful, affordable and easy to use. PC means personal computer. Personal computer, it was also portable and you can easily move from one place to another place. The computers of nowadays, present era. General purpose machine means it was not designed for scientific and commercial only. It was general purpose, means you can use for anything. If you can, you are free. Easier to upgrade and produce commercially. Rapid software development possible. Now, if you are the programmer, suppose if you are the programmer, in 4th generation you are free. In 4th generation, it was possible for you to develop the code because high level programming languages were there, object oriented concept was there, so rapid software development was possible in 4th generation and it was a portable computer. Now the 5th generation from 1982 to present, and 5th generation is also, before seeing next slide, can you all guess what will come in the 5th generation? 1st generation was having vacuum tubes, 2nd generation was having what? Yes, transistors, and 3rd generation was you having good integrated circuits. 4th generation microprocessors. So what will come in the 5th generation? After microprocessor, I don't think anything came. Oh yes, artificial intelligence. You all are very genius, you know everything. So in 5th generation, artificial intelligence came into the existence. Let's see our next slide. Supercomputers came into the existence. Powerful servers, interspace, cluster programming, cluster computing, all these advanced terms came into the existence in 5th generation. And the software that was used, natural language processing, NLP. Natural language processing. As I discussed in 2nd generation, natural language, high level language was developed, and high level language means we can use our natural language, and that time natural language was only English, but right now we have the facility to communicate in Hindi also. We can search in Hindi also, and we can type in Hindi in our mobile phones, in our computers, and we can use Hindi. Right now we have the facility to speak, whatever we speak our microphone listens and search based on our input, our voice input, and it is and our mobile phone understands very clearly whatever we say. So now the field of natural language processing is a very vast field, and every possible language is being included in this and can understand human language, same which we discussed. Interspace, a term used in our previous slide, interspace. And what is this interspace? It is basically a client-server software program, allows multiple users to communicate online with real-time audio, video or text chat in dynamic 3D environment. The definition is very technical, I think. So in a simple language, let's see. Interspace provides the most advanced form of communication available on the internet today. Right now you will be using lots of websites, and there a chat now option is there. You just click and some animated emojis appears, and the machine is interacting with you all till their operator is not free, any customer care representative is not free. This is possible with the help of Interspace. Other features of the 5th generation: voice recognition. This is the main concept, this is the main feature. Well, not main, but this is very popular feature of the 5th generation computer: voice recognition, capable of learning and self-organization. With the help of artificial intelligence, machines are designed that can understand what you wish. Means if you will say make a phone call to this particular number, your phone, that software will use your phone to make the call. And if you will say call a particular person and fix a deal, now the softwares can also do that. So this is the advancement, and this is the technology, and this is the 5th generation. This is the future. Latest technologies, still we are in 5th generation, but there are some latest trends, some latest technologies that are very hot technologies, means they are in demand nowadays, so we should know about them. Robotics is also an application of artificial intelligence. Wearable devices, nowadays research is going on to develop wearable devices, and also we have some smart watches, smart wristwatch, which counts the step we walk, which detects our heartbeat, our pulse rate. There are lots of devices also there. Tech tats, like temporary tattoo, they are technical tattoos. Mind reading machines, the machine which can read your mind, whatever you are thinking. Virtual reality or virtual world, which is not available, that will be created with the help of virtual technology. Virtually that will be available, means we can feel. All of us have read about dinosaurs, but I don't think anyone have seen the dinosaurs, means in this present living era. But with the help of virtual reality we can create dinosaurs, we can see. We have seen lots of movies in that dinosaurs was there, means dinosaurs was picturized, and this is possible with the help of virtual reality, virtual world. That is developed. We can feel, we can sense. Artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, wireless charging standards. It's a technology that is focusing on the field that we can charge devices with the help of wireless electrical charger. We can use wireless electricity. They are working on this. So these are the latest trends on which the research is going on. Okay, your first chapter is complete now. So whatever the activities given in your books, complete it and ask if you have any questions.